Pokemon Champions is finally out, and there have been some huge changes to the statuses we know in Sleep, Paralysis, and Freeze. Sleep now has a 33.3% chance to wake up on the second turn you're asleep, and you'll always wake up on the third turn. The chance to be fully paralyzed has changed from 25% or 1 in 4 to 1 in 8, meaning 87.5% of the time your Pokemon's gonna be able to move. And Freeze now lasts only 3 turns, as you're guaranteed to thaw after, with a 25% chance to thaw each turn instead of last gen's 20%. The first thing I want to say is that I think all these nerfs to status are actually pluses for competitive Pokemon. Whether you play singles or doubles, I think that these are great for the future of competitive Pokemon. But what are your thoughts? Please let me know down below. And if you do enjoy this content, feel free to leave a like and feel free to sub if you're not subscribed, as I'm on my way to 500,000 subs. Don't worry about it if you don't feel like it. Anyway, let's talk about Paralysis first. Now, I put Klefki here with Prankster Thunderwave just because when I think of Thunderwave, this, Thundurus, and Liepard over the generations are the Pokemon that I think about the most. Thunderwave or Paralysis has been nerfed from 25% chance, a 1 in 4 chance, to get you fully paralyzed to a 12.5% chance of you being fully paralyzed. This is huge because how many times have you lost a game? Let's say in singles you had a Calm Mind Pokemon, maybe Clefable, that could win the game by simply kicking Calm Mind plus Soft Boiled or Wish or Moonlight in this generation. Or even in doubles, you had a Pokemon that was set to sleep and your opponent went for Prankster Thunderwave and ended up stopping you. I think that Thunderwave getting closer and closer and closer to just simply being speed control is positive for Pokemon, getting rid of that chance to be fully paralyzed. On the flip side, though, there's definitely some downside to this, because how many times do you win a game because you paralyze an opponent hoping for a full para and they got full para'd on the right turn? You know, maybe you're facing a stall team where they can't recover on the right turn because they get fully paralyzed. And the combination with this plus like going for a flinching move to make it so your opponent can't move. So there's definitely obviously a downside to it, but on the flip side, now you also have to worry less. However, I want to also note that now when you get fully paralyzed, you can get really mad, because if that starts happening 2, 3, 4 turns in a row and it's supposed to be a 1 in 8 chance, yeah, I think you have the right to at least complain in that sense. But I think Paralysis, again, moving closer and closer to just being speed control is the right move for this status. What do you think? Please let me know down below. The next nerf, and I think buff again for competitive play, is Sleep. So historically, at least as of recent years, Sleep has been 3 turns. You're guaranteed the first turn of sleep, and you basically pray that you can wake up turn 2 or turn 3. And if you don't, you wake up guaranteed on the 4th turn. So basically, again, Sleep is technically 3 turns, but the first turn was always guaranteed, so you couldn't wake up that turn. Now, you're only going to be asleep for 2 turns after the initial sleep, which is pretty crazy. So this is the way it works. The first turn you're asleep, right? I use Dark Void with Dark Around You, and it says Feraligatr, you're using Feraligatr because you have some taste. Feraligatr is fast asleep, right? And then Feraligatr moves after on that same turn and says Feraligator's fast asleep. So that's the guaranteed sleep turn. That's turn 1 of sleep turn. Now, the second turn is you have a 1 in 3 chance, a 33.333% chance to wake up. And if you don't wake up that turn, the next turn you are guaranteed to wake up. So Sleep is basically 2 turns max outside of that initial turn, which is just the guaranteed sleep. This is a big change because historically, games have been won and lost based on 1, 2, or 3 turns. I know both in singles and doubles. When it comes to it, you really, if I have a setup mon and Amoonguss is gone for Spore, and maybe you have something like, say, again, in VGC or doubles, and you're hoping that your Calyrex wakes up to be able to click Glacial Lance or Ashka Barrage to basically win you the game, and they stay asleep. You put your hands together. We're watching you play semifinals right now at a VGC event, and you're just putting your hands together. You're praying that you wake up, and you see those turns go by. 1, 2, 3, and then, you know, you wake up on the final turn, right? Sleep is huge. Games have been won and lost based on this. I think this is also pretty big because it means it's not also as broken, right? Now, Dark Void was very broken back in the day, had the 80% accuracy, hit both targets as well, and then they got nerfed to 50% accuracy, and only Darkrai could have it. And Smeargle was the main reason why this Pokemon move got nerfed. They said, oh no Pokemon can get this move besides Darkrai, but also here's 50% accuracy. I think only one of those was probably fine, at least initially. So now actually having this, at least from a singles perspective, I think it would be okay to allow sleep again, since again, it is at least a 1 in 3 chance of waking up on, you know, your second turn after your guaranteed turn of sleep, and you're guaranteed to wake up a turn after. So it's less of a chance. You know when it's going to happen for the most part, and there are less turns for your opponent to really abuse, you know, the bad factors of sleep, whether it's set up on you, switch out and get better initiative, because they're really risking you waking up. Now a quote-unquote first turn wake is not even that lucky, because they're guaranteed to wake up in the next turn anyway. So you can't even like really switch on sleep. For instance, if you have a faster Pokemon in this 1v1 scenario, you have a faster Pokemon versus me, you went for a sleep move like Hypnosis, Spore, whatever, on my, again, I'm going to use Feraligatr in this case, on my Feraligator's sleeping burns it. You, so I burn the initial turn right there. You switch out into something. I have a 1 in 3 chance now of waking up there. But even if I don't wake up, the next turn I'm guaranteed to wake up. You cannot take advantage of this by switching now, right? And if you're faster, you can get a free switch. But if you're slower and trying to set up, it won't work, because I'm guaranteed to wake up the next turn. So I think this is a really positive change for competitive Pokemon. It makes sleep moves a lot less broken, right? They definitely could have done... sleep moves historically have been some of the most broken moves in the game. If you actually play 66 singles, they are actually banned completely. Besides rest, put your, you know, self-sleep moves, and then moves like Relic Song, which have the ability to sleep you. But moves like Yawn, Spore, Hypnosis, Dark Void, all banned. And it's mainly because of Darkrai and Iron Valiant. So now that sleep has been nerfed, I think it's a big plus. Freeze being changed is probably my favorite competitive change ever. When we first got Frostbite in Pokemon Legends Arceus, I know a lot of people were talking about it changed to that, but I think this one is better. So historically, Freeze basically gives you a 20% chance to thaw every turn until you thaw. That's it. You can be frozen forever, or somebody can thaw you by going for moves like fire moves or moves like Scald into you. Now, instead of a 20% chance to thaw every turn, it's a 1 in 4 chance. So from 1 in 5 to 1 in 4, it's a 25% chance to thaw every turn. And you are guaranteed to thaw after 3 turns. So essentially, this is like sleep. It's like OG sleep, that you're guaranteed to thaw after 3 turns. Good, because Ice Beams are probably some of the scariest moves ever to be fired at you in competitive, right? You're staring at your screen. Whether this goes for everybody. I don't care if you play singles, doubles, Battle Stadium singles, draft, shoot, triple battles, which I hope get added to Pokemon Champions eventually. I don't care. Ice moves are the most threatening moves in competitive Pokemon, because the drawback of Freeze is insane. You can't do anything about it. You just got to pray that you thaw 20% of the time. But now it being a 25% chance for, and then you only need 3 turns anyway, it's basically like being put to sleep. And I am good with this. This is a positive change, especially because now we have Mega Frostlass. And I put Mega Frostlass here specifically because it's really good for a fast Aurora Veil, but also it will be throwing off blizzards. And we also have Pokemon like Vanillix and other ice types in the game currently that hit extremely hard and have multiple opportunities to fire off those ice type attacks. I put it because they're going to be more common, at least on both. And then we had in VGC, we had in the previous revelation, we had an Articuno throwing off Choice Specs attacks and also Sheer Cold. There's some crazy things to talk about with Sheer Cold as well. I'll be talking about some abilities and things like that as well. But this is probably one of the most positive changes, and I think all of these are great for the future of competitive Pokemon. Burn has not been changed. I think Burn is great the way it is, it being the attack reduction plus only doing 6% per turn instead of that 12.5. Which is, again, a huge difference ever since it always happened. But what do you guys think? Please let me know down below. And I will see you guys in either another video today. I mean, this will be my third if I did another one today. I don't know. But I'll definitely see you guys in a stream and more videos throughout. Feel free to subscribe. Thank you for 470,000 subscribers, by the way. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.